Hi everyone, I'm Lucy Balch from Synergy Homeopathic, and I'd like to welcome you all to today's presentation with Dr. Rajan Sankaran. Dr. Sankaran is an internationally celebrated homeopath, best known for his groundbreaking concepts in homeopathy, in particular the sensation method, the synergy method, and the 8-box method. He's also the author of numerous homeopathic books and is a very sought-after speaker. We're honored to have him join us today to share his wisdom as he showcases the new and improved Vital Quest software system with a case presentation. Vital Quest has recently merged with Synergy, and if you're interested in learning more about that, please visit vitalquest.com. I'd also like to let you know that Mac Repertory and ReferenceWorks customers can purchase Vital Quest at a special price throughout the summer. Originally priced at $1,600, Vital Quest Synergy will be on sale for just $1,000 throughout this sale period. Dr. Sankaran's additional books are on sale also, just $400 down from $650. Enough about that, and on to the presentation. We will leave 5 minutes at the end for questions. So if you have any, please type them in the control panel you see in front of you in the questions section. And now, I'll turn the program over to Dr. Sankaran. Enjoy.
So, hello everybody. I would like to start by presenting some cases, and the first case we will see is of ankylosing spondylitis. In a 27-year-old male patient, and he comes with the chief complaint of pain and stiffness in his back in the morning on waking. His erythrocyte sedimentation rate is 40, and the pains are better by exercise and by warm applications. When we ask him for the experience of the pain, he first gives us the sensation of stiffness, and then he says, it feels as if someone has caught me. One of the questions that I ask patients is, what is the effect of the complaint on you? How does this problem affect you? Because then we can spot the most sensitive area of the patient. It's where it affects you, that's your most sensitive spot. So he says, I feel very sad about it. And the main thing for me is that I'm not able to enjoy my life because of this. Because I'm a very outgoing kind of person who likes to go out, and I like to eat. I'm a foodie. And because of this complaint, because of this spondylitis, I'm not able to go out. I'm not able to move. I'm not mobile. And therefore, I'm not able to eat different kinds of food and ice cream and all kinds of tasty stuff, which I like a lot. And I like everything in food. There's nothing which I don't like. I just love food. And what this problem does for me is it stops me from having that food. And also, because of dietary restrictions. People have told me this is not good for me or that's not good for me. And therefore also I have to be very limited in the choice of food that I can consume. So that's what this problem does to me. Another area that we inquire about is the dreams. And he has dreams such as snakes, falling from high places, losing his parents, or failure in such things as examinations. So what we are getting here is information from various areas. So you have, firstly, you have the name of the disease, which is ankylosing spondylitis. You have the type of pathology, which has to do with joints, and also in a way it has to do with autoimmunity. So that's the pathology. And he's a young guy, he's 27 years old, he's having quite a severe problem. Then you have the local symptoms, which is in his case the stiffness, which is worse in the morning and better by exercise and warmth. And then you have an experience or a sensation, which is stiffness or caught feeling, as if something has caught me. And then you have another area of the case, which is the effect of the complaint, which for him basically is limiting or restricting him from doing what he likes to do. So he has to live his life in a very restricted or a limited way. And then you have the dreams, which has dreams of snakes, falling from high places, losing his parents, and failure. So these are the different areas or aspects of the case that we see. Then we ask him, what is the feeling or the experience in the dreams? And he says the feeling is of horror because the snake is coming behind me, is pursuing me, and I'm running. And I fear that the snake will bite me and I will be dead. I will lose my life. A little bit about his childhood. What are the things you were scared of as a child? And he says, failure in exams. And then I felt that people will blame my parents for that. And I was so depressed when I would fail that I even felt like ending my life. And what does he like to eat and drink? He likes fruit, especially citrus fruit like orange, and he likes mangoes, apples, pineapples, and he also likes nuts. What are the things that make you anxious, nervous, or tense? One is failure, and the second is before he goes for an interview or for a meeting, so he gets very nervous. This is the history. This is how we normally get the information in a case. And then we have to look at this and analyze it. So here is the analysis. The analysis that I nowadays do is with what I call the 8-box method, where we take the information and classify it into the various areas of the case into 8 different areas. The first area is the pathology, as you can see here. The second is the chief complaint and its modalities, the state of mind and the nature, the childhood, the dreams, the generalities including cravings and aversions, the effect of the complaint on the patient, and any information that we have about the kingdom or the miasm in the case. So when we look at the case here, you can see the pathology is this spondylitis. The chief complaint which we saw is the stiffness and the caught feeling that is better by exercise. In the mind, you see there is always this feeling of, two feelings are there. One is the feeling of being restricted or limited, and the other is the fear, always the fear of failure and the anticipatory anxiety before any meeting or interview. And the dreams, you have the dreams of snakes and falling and failure. The liking, the craving is for fruit like oranges, mango, pineapple, and nuts. Now, when we go to the experience in this case, we see the main experience in the chief complaint is one of caught and stiff. And caught and stiff also gives you the idea of being restricted or limited, you cannot move. And the opposite of that is movement or exercise. So this gives us an idea that he needs something from the plant kingdom, because at the level of the chief complaint, the main experience is of a particular sensation and its opposite. That means stiffness, no movement, and the opposite is exercise or movement. When the patient needs something from the mineral kingdom, the effect or the experience of the chief complaint will be a loss of structure or function. For example, he'll say, I don't have the ability to do this or that. And if it is a animal kingdom sensation, it's usually the experience of something versus something else. You know, the pain is killing me, it is persecuting me, it is harassing me, something like that. So here you see the main experience is of a sensation and its opposite. That gives us the plant kingdom. And the other thing is the feeling to be limited, that he cannot do anything, that he is restricted. This is another experience that gives us, in a way, it gives us his miasm. So the sensation is caught, stuck, restricted. And now here, uh, if you don't know which family or which group these sensations belong, that's where one can use the vital quest. So in the vital quest, you have a window where you can actually paste the whole case, the entire Word document of the case. You can paste it here. And what it does is it highlights, you can see in the red, all the sensation words. And then it lists all the sensation words down there, and you can select them, and those words go for analysis. So the Vital Quest program has an entire logic which has been worked out in great detail, where every sensation word is classified according to the kingdoms, groups, families, etc. So when all those words are used for analysis, so you can get a result, and it will tell you which kingdom is mainly indicated. As you can see here, it indicates that the highest kingdom is the plant kingdom at 68%, and the animal kingdom just 5%. And then when you click on the plant kingdom thing, it takes you to the families, and it shows you that the Anacardiaceae family is the highest family. And Anacardiaceae, you know, is the family of rootstocks that has the main theme of stiffness, tightness, stuckness, cannot move, and the opposite, better by motion. So you know this also from your Materia Medica. And you can see here the sensation words of the patient can be checked with the experience, and you can see all the sensation words of the anacardiaceae family: caught, stuck, the need to move constantly, motion ameliorates, paralyzed and immobile. Um, and then you can take it further and find out which remedy from the anacardiaceae family. So when you click in the vital quest on anacardiaceae, it gives you the various remedy possibilities, for example, Ras venata, Mangifera, anacardium, etc. What is also very interesting in the program is the sensation repertory. So you can go in Vital Quest and you can open the repertory here, and you can change the default repertory is called reliable repertory, which has been very painstakingly created. But you can also go to the sensation repertory, and in the sensation repertory, when you open, you can see here, suppose you put here caught, the word caught. So it tells you that this sensation of caught can be found in the following remedy families or groups. Here you can see anacardiaceae, animal kingdom, arachnida, which is the spider, aves, which is birds. Birds can be caught as well. Cactaceae can have the caught sensation. Carbons, cruciferae, euphorbiaceae, hemamelidae, insects, mammals, nepenthes, which is basically the carnivorous plants, nitrogen, reptiles, solanaceae, spiders, and tubercular miasm. So these are the remedy groupings that can have the word caught. You have here below that the cross references: caged, choked, clasped, ensnared, tight, caught, gripped, suffocated, or constricted. And below caught, you can see the sub rubrics. Caught as a way of attack and defense, it's the animal kingdom. Caught as a violent sudden attack is solanaceae. Caught like stuck in the birth process is carbons and nitrogen. Caught with sensitivity to being bound and tied, wants to be free, euphorbiaceae. Caught with sensitivity to being held back and free movement, this is anacardiaceae. Caught, lured and killed is the carnivorous plants. Caught in a monotonous routine is hemamelidae. It's a cannabis family. Caught with contraction and expansion, Cactaceae family. Caught where you are obstructed and there is no free flow, that is cruciferae. Caught and the opposite is flying, that is the birds. So in this way, you can see the various possibilities of caught in the sensation way. This is really an amazing repertory that has been created and can be used with great benefit. So also this repertory can be used in a rubric format. So this whole caught can be put in a rubric clipboard and can be used for analysis. So that's what has been done over here. As you can see, the sensation of caught, stiffness, stuck, restricted, and movement had been put in the thing, and then you find, when you repertorize it, you find anacardiaceae coming right on the top. So in this way, people who are even somewhat unfamiliar with the sensation method can use this repertory with great advantage and locate which family has exactly those sensations and what is the difference between one group and the other group. Also, in this case, we can do the traditional repertorization where you see all the rubrics of the back, such as back pain bending forward, back pain in the morning, back pain motion ameliorates, back pain warmth ameliorates, and then you find Rustox, which is Anacardiaceae family. So the whole idea of this analysis is to look at the case from every angle, from pathology, from the symptoms, from the modalities, from the sensation, from the miasm, from the genius of the case, from the rubrics of the case, and to see that from various angles you come to a very, very similar conclusion. And then you know that you are absolutely in the center, that you're right. That's the whole idea of this 8-box method as well. But here you can see here that even though the rubrics are indicating Rustox, but still there is something missing here, and that is we are not taking into account that the pace of the case is not something that is acute or crisis such as Rustox usually has, but it's a pace of restriction, limitation, and anticipation. And this kind of restriction, limitation, anticipation, and avoiding, for example, he avoids failure, he avoids certain food. This is usually the psychotic miasm. So I have classified the different types of pace or depth of a state according to 10 miasms, and the psychotic one is the one that has the theme of anticipation, avoidance, and being restricted or limited. So here we know that the case is a case of Anacardiaceae family, but it's not Rustox, and we think that the miasm is psychotic. In the Vital Quest also you'll find a lot of information about miasms, and also you'll find the, a very comprehensive information about the families, the groups, and the remedies, the provings, the sources, etc. So for me, the Vital Quest is a really storehouse of information that I use very frequently. So here you can see the information about the miasms, the 10 miasms. And when you look at the psychotic miasm, the main experience is of a fixed ideas of limitation, that you have to live with it, you have to accept it, that you are restricted by it, you cannot do anything for it, you have to just avoid it, for example. And here you can now have a look at another repertorization which gives you the dreams. Here you have dreams of snakes, of dead people, of being pursued, of running, of falling, of death in the family, and then the general symptom, the desire for fruits, oranges, and citrus things. And then his main complaint, back pain in the cervical region. So when you take all these rubrics, you get the remedy Mangifera indica, which is the Indian mango. And interestingly, very interestingly, you find that Mangifera indica is the remedy in Anacardiaceae family, which is in the psychotic miasm. And also interestingly, you can see here that the main pain in the cervical region is also Mangifera. If you see spondylitis cervical region, the main remedy is Mangifera indica. So now you have a remedy, Mangifera, which is specifically for the spondylitis. It is also Anacardiaceae family, which is always worse from rest and better by motion, and has a feeling of stiffness and tautness. It is in the psychotic miasm, and it has all the dreams of the patient, such as snakes, pursued, etc., etc., and the desires, which is citrus, food, and oranges. And he has also, interestingly, the desire for mango, which is the remedy itself. And in this way, you come to the remedy Mangifera indica, which was given to him in the 1M potency. And within a month, we saw a remarkable improvement The stiffness in the joints and the back was better by 90%. The neck pain was also better, and his mood is much more cheerful, and he is happy, he says. The dreams disappeared, and generally he felt better. After 6 months, a follow-up showed that he continues to do very well, not only in his back and stiffness and neck and his mind state and moods, but also in the ESR, which was 40, has now dropped to 9. The erythrocyte sedimentation rate shows the degree of inflammation in the body, and it's almost a very good indicator of the level of disease. And it has come back to normal with 6 months of treatment, and he uh, continued to do very well. Another follow-up in January 2018 shows even further relief of his symptoms, and he says homeopathy has saved my life. That's the uh, feeling that he has. So this is the case, and the basic idea of showing this case is that how one uses every tool available to analyze the case and to come to a uh, remedy for the patient, and how one uses traditional repertory as well as the sensation method, sensation repertory, and knowledge of the various families, the various kingdoms, the various miasms, and all of this has been very, very well documented in the Vital Quest program. And not only that, if you're not so familiar with it as well, it gives you the possibility to take the entire case of the patient in a Word document, just paste it. I'll show you where it can be done. For example, when you go, when you go in the Vital Quest again, and hmm, and you can see a window. Yeah, sorry. There it is. So when you go here, you can see a window, and here if you put here, the case, I have tightness in my back, it feels caught, etc. If you just type this, immediately it highlights the sensation word tightness and caught. And further, if you put I feel stiffness and am better from movement, again it will highlight stiffness and movement. And if you select all these words and go for a quick result or analysis, and then what it does, it shows you plants is 88%, and if you click on plants, straight away you go to anacardiaceae. You can see this in this chart. Plants is coming very, very prominently, and if you click on the plants, anacardiaceae is screaming out there. And then what you can do is you can go to the materia medica section, and you can click on plants, different plant families, and you can go to anacardiaceae, and you can read exactly the sensation of caught, stiff, tight, tension, stuck, cramps, need to move, which ameliorates. And then you can study the family in detail. You can see the sensation, the passive reaction, the active reaction, and the remedies with the miasms. And as you can see here, psychotic miasm is mangifera, and you can click on mangifera and you get all the information about mangifera, including cases from practitioners all over the world. So this kind of information is probably only available in Vital Quest about the various family groupings and sensations and miasms and cases, and so it's a treasure house of that information. So in this way, by using um, various tools, traditional repertory, materia medica, sensation method, and what the Vital Quest has now done in its latest version, it has incorporated all of this. So we have the repertory as well, we have the genius as well, we have the sensation repertory and the sensation analysis as well. And in a way, it puts all of this together into a synergistic analysis of the case and gives you possibilities of remedies. So that's the way I use the program, and I wanted to talk to you about the case as well as introduce this amazing tool that one can use in addition to the Mac repertory and reference works. I use all of them together. So I would like to take you to one more case. Um, oh, okay, let's go for this one. This is a case of a anxiety disorder uh, in a 43-year-old female patient. And let's read the case a little bit. The patient complains of panic attacks uh, if she stops hormone replacement therapy treatment even for one day since 2001. So for many years, she has been taking HRT, and the day she stops it, she will get panic attacks. And what happens in these panic attacks is that she becomes nervous, gets palpitations, feels a sense of doom, and her confidence level becomes very low. She's very scared, as if something bad is going to happen. And she feels better by taking the estrogen. At the age of 30, she stopped getting her periods and was diagnosed as premature ovarian failure, and since then she's on HRT. And ever since she was young, her periods have always been irregular, scanty, and delayed. And she talks very hastily, she talks very fast. That's what we observe. Um, Very interestingly, this when she came in, she created a big ruckus in the waiting room, in the reception area. She was really getting very agitated, saying that she has been delayed. That we have delayed taking her in by about 10 minutes, and this is really quite unusual. Um, that patients create so much problem for such a short delay, especially in a doctor's waiting room where they know that there could be other emergency cases. So when I called her in, uh, I wanted to find out what was her big hurry, because we already tell the patients that it can take 2 hours for the consultation. So they are supposed to keep that kind of time, available when they come. So 10 minutes shouldn't have mattered so much. So what was her hurry? And she says the main thing for her is that she cannot sit idle. If she sits idle, she gets thoughts of cancer, and she gets thoughts of going through disease and going through suffering. And therefore, she has to be continuously on the go, and she cannot wait anywhere, because then these painful thoughts, they flood her mind. So she likes to do painting, she likes music, she likes traveling, she's very fast paced. And when she reads as well, she says, I only read happy books and I read them fast, and I don't like slow books because then I really get bored. and I want things to change all the time. I cannot be in the same situation, because then I get completely bored. Even her dreams are full of fun. She's going to a party, she's having great food, she's traveling, going to new places, she's flying here and there, and she's energetic, and she really loves food, etc. And she says she loves colors, and I said, which colors do you like? And she says, I like vibrant colors, full of energy, and these colors, they cause a kind of a buzzing in me, and they make me happy and energetic. And the opposite, I said, what's the opposite of this buzzing, happy, energetic thing? And she says, well, the opposite is dull colors, and that feels so boring and empty, and nothing is happening. So wherever you went, you saw the two sides, the two polarities. One was this buzzing, energetic, fast paced, wanting a change, wanting parties, wanting pleasure, enjoyment, food. And the other side was boring and dull, and nothing was happening, it is empty. And also, interestingly, a lot of pain and suffering. So on the one hand was boring, pain and suffering, on the other hand was activity, happy and buzzing. So this was the two polarities in this woman. And then she had other symptoms, that she had headache from noise, she desired eggs, and she had developed a kind of a fungal infection between her toes, and recently also in her scalp and her armpits. So this was the case. It was a very interesting case for me, and especially the way she was talking was like fast and animated and buzzing, one would say. And very soon after she started in the consulting room, she completely forgot about time, and she was in no hurry at all, because something was happening and it was interesting. So that was the main story for her. So when you look at the analysis, again you can classify the information into the various categories and the aspects of the case. So you can see the diagnosis is of anxiety disorder and of panic attacks and of premature ovarian failure. She also had tinnitus. Her chief complaint is of panic, and it's with palpitation, a sense of doom, low confidence, and as if something bad will happen. Her other symptoms include headache from noise, desire for eggs, and fungal infection. Her nature is she is continuously on the go, cannot sit idle, hasty, hurried, and she likes new places, she likes traveling, etc. The dreams are very pleasant, as if she's going to a party or eating very savory food. In her interests and hobbies, her sexual desire is low. She likes kissing, cuddling, and holding, and vibrant colors that buzz her, make her energetic, and opposite is empty, boring, nothing happening. And her sensation is the sensation of these two polarities that we spoke about. And because again you can see that the whole experience is in two polarities, we get a very strong hint of a plant kingdom. So could the panic indicate a Solanaceae remedy such as tremonium? Could it be Naxomica, because she was so agitated and impatient and quarrelsome with the receptionist? So I find that the first 10 minutes are the most crucial part in a case. One of the symptoms we can look at is anxiety in climacteric period, because it was after she stopped her periods that this anxiety attack started. And then you have all of these remedies, aconite, amyl nitrosum, and trillium and calibromatum, etc. You should read these remedies. So you have in amyl nitrosum climacteric flushings with headache, anxiety, and palpitation. So this could be a possibility. In this way, one has to look at various possibilities. But the main thing I find in case analysis where we go wrong is when we have only a partial similarity. So amyl nitrosum definitely fits one part of the case, but what about the main thing? Her buzzing, her energy, her boredom, her pain, her suffering, and her desire for eggs. So, uh, you know the story of the six blind men and the elephant. They went to feel the elephant, these blind men, and they looked at, they touched different parts and they came up with completely different conclusions. The man who touched the trunk said it's a tube. The man who touched the tail said it's a rope. The one who touched the ear said it's a fan. The one who touched the leg said it's a pillar. And that's the exact mistake that we make in case analysis, because we look at a part of a case and we conclude. So amyl nitrosum fits a part, stramonium fits a part, naxomica fits a part, but none of them fit the whole. So in this way, you have to broaden your vision. And here the use of reference works is very interesting, because I put there menopause stroke climaxes within 3 words of anxiety stroke panic, which means basically telling the program that I would like to know in which remedies in the entire homeopathic literature can we find menopause in the same within 3 words of anxiety, etc. And there you get some remedies here. 11 remedies: aconite, adamas, amyl nitrosum, androctonus, aurum, juglans, calibrom, piper methysticum, sepia, theridion, and trillium. Now, first of all, we have a hint that it's a plant family, and also secondly, you have the hint that you have two polarities: boredom and suffering on the one hand, and excitement and buzzing on the other. And that is a special feature of the piper family, piper methysticum. So when you read in in the literature, use piper methysticum is kava kava, and it's known to reduce the symptoms of anxiety in menopausal women. So then when you look in the repertory, you find the fear of suffering is found in piper methysticum. That was her main fear: of pain, of suffering, of cancer, etc. And the other symptom of piper methysticum in the repertory is ennui, which is boredom. Entertainment ameliorate. So she always wanted to be entertained, either parties, pleasure, eating, drinking, going out, traveling, singing, dancing, colors, painting, etc. So it was just this need for entertainment, because the opposite was ennui or boredom. And there you see also piper methysticum. So desire for amusement is piper methysticum as well. And you see excitement ameliorates is piper methysticum. So when you look at fear of pain, fear of suffering, haste, boredom, desire for change, wants to be busy, dreams of parties, dreams of traveling, headache from noise, and desire for eggs, so you find in all the rubrics piper methysticum, which is now giving you a much broader picture of the case. But I did not give her piper methysticum, and that's where the system comes in. So when you copy and paste this case in the vital quest, you see the new ideas, the suffering, the music, the traveling, the fast pace, the happy, the change. So you get all the words selected, and when you analyze the case, you get the plant family on the top. And when you go further, you find the two families, Labiata, which is the mint family, and Piper, which is the pepper family. And that you have to differentiate. Now, when you go in the sensation and in the rubrics, you find Piper is coming out. Again, as we saw, Piper methysticum. And what is interesting also about the vital quest is not only it gives you all the sensation, passive reaction, active reaction, compensation of the Piper family, as you can see here on the screen, but also it helps you know which miasm it is. And in this case, you can see she has a fungal infection, and she also has this whole theme of this fear and anticipatory, like the psychotic miasm. So the remedy she received was not Piper methysticum, but Piper nigrum, which is the black pepper. Now, what Vital Quest also does, it differentiates the family. So since Piperaceae and Labiata both have come out, that means the pipe pepper and the mint family, then the difference between the two is also mentioned in the Vital Quest software. So you can see that the Labiata sensation is of excitement, which is a pleasurable excitement, like sexual pleasure, like passion. And the Piperaceae family, the polarity is between pain and suffering, and on the other side is more passive entertainment. Whereas in Labiata, it's active passion, and that's where part of the difference lies, as you can see here. And similarly, you have the coffee family. And the coffee family is one of the stimulation of ideas, lot of theories and plans. This doesn't happen in Piper. In Piper, it's just enjoyment, pleasure. Like, when you have bland food, you want to add pepper to, spice it up. So the idea of the pepper family is to spice up things, not necessarily to stimulate ideas as it happens in the coffee family. So you see various differences, and you can see here in this case, we could go to Piper from the rubrics, all the rubrics I showed you, or you can go to it from contemporary ideas of sensation and family. And that's where if you use both together, it's even much more sure and definite. And in order to use the contemporary ideas of sensation and miasm and groups, so here is where the Vital Quest program comes in very, very importantly, because it started off as a tool for the sensation method practitioners, but now it has broadened its scope to include a repertory, to include a sensation repertory also, and to include the synergistic analysis of cases. So she received Piper nigrum 1M, and the follow-up has been so amazing that within the next 1.5 to 2 years, she was totally off hormone replacement therapy. She was totally off her panic and anxiety, and she is very, very grateful for homeopathy to help her out. So these are two cases I wanted to just talk to you about, on how I take cases, how I go in depth and exactness of each area, how I classify the information according to the various categories, which I call the 8 boxes, how I try to find the connecting thread between the boxes, and how I use the repertory as well as the sensation idea through Vital Quest in a synergistic fashion to be very, very sure about the remedy. And that's the whole theme of today's talk. And I welcome any questions from you.
Thank you, Dr. Sankaran. We will have time for some questions. I want to quickly remind the Mac Repertory and Reference Works customers that they can purchase the Vital Quest Synergy for the reduced cost of $1,000 during this summer sale, down from $1,600. They can also purchase Dr. Sankaran's additional books. Those are on sale for just $400, down from $650. So one of the questions that came in, and feel free if someone else has a question, you can type it in, and I think we have time for a few more after the ones I've chosen so far. The first question is, does this method work well with both acute and chronic cases?
Yes, absolutely. It works amazingly well with acute and chronic. In acute, in fact, it works so well because in acute, or the sensation and the symptoms, etc., are much more clear and much more out there, So it's really it works very, very well for both.
Okay, wonderful. Here's another question. Um, when a patient describes his symptoms, what does that always mean? Let's see. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Just one second. Well, some people are asking questions that aren't specific to VitalQuest. Let me get to the one that is more specific to VitalQuest in this for this presentation. What percentage of the time, for what percentage of the time do you use VitalQuest with your cases?
Well, it's difficult for me to say that because you see, the Vital Quest is based on the sensation method which I originated. So a lot of information which is in the Vital Quest is coming from me, and therefore I don't need to refer to it that often. But for people less familiar with all the families and the groups and the miasms, I would say that it would be used much more often. But very often I use Vital Quest to get to the information on the families, on the various remedies, and also I find it a very important teaching tool. For example, I want to teach a particular family to the class. I can open the Vital Quest and I can show them exactly how the information on that family and the remedies and the alert words for each family, it's very well laid out in the Vital Quest. So it's a very useful tool for me. The exact percentage of cases I use it in, I will not be able to say.
Okay, thanks. Here's a question from a veterinarian. Would VitalQuest be of benefit for veterinarians since the vets can't really know the animal's sensations?
uh, I would not have first-hand knowledge because I am not uh, for example, dealing so much with animals. But yes, people who are veterinary doctors and who use sensation method say that it's a very useful tool in veterinary cases as well.
Okay, thank you. I'm looking at a few of these other questions here. We have quite a few. Somebody's asking about, let's see, does VitalQuest help you determine how many doses the patient needs and help determine the time lapse between doses?
No, the Vital Quest does not deal with the potency and the repetition. But yes, there is a way in which a standardized method in which we select the potency for the case, which depends upon the level of experience of the patient. So we have classified the level of experience of each individual to be 1 out of 7, and it depends on which level. Is he on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7? That determines which potency that he will receive. And here the Vital Quest can help you decide which level of experience the patient is, and subsequently therefore it will help you in choosing the potency. But at what frequency the dose needs to be repeated very much depends on the response to the dose. How long does it last? What is the pathology? What is the type of disease, etc.? And that's just too individualized for the Vital Quest to decide for you.
Okay, thank you. Somebody is asking if some specific training is available when you buy VitalQuest.
Yes, specific training is available. It is also online, and definitely there will be a strong tech support team that will take you through the paces and make sure that you know how to use it well.
Okay, let's see, we might have time for one more question or so. Somebody asked, does this method, the VitalQuest method, shorten the time that it's usually required to take a vital sensation case?
The Vital Quest also offers you help in case taking. So when you type the case into the software, it suggests you which is the next question you can ask, at which level you can ask that. So it gives you a lot of guidance in the case taking process. But does it shorten the time? You can shorten the time only when you practice it more and more. As you practice more, the time gets shorter because you know exactly what to ask and when to ask. So normally when I began, I would take about 2 hours or 2.5 hours for a case, but now most of my cases get done within 20 to 30 minutes. So that comes from practice, and the Vital Quest can help you practice by suggesting you in case after case how to proceed with the questioning.
Thank you. One more quick question here. I think we do have time for one more. How does VitalQuest help to determine the level of experience?
How does it help? Because when you type in whatever the patient says, then it takes you to a window that asks you to note which level the patient is talking in, and it gives you hints as to decide which is the level of the case. So this would be a much more detailed explanation, which I will have to show you, and I don't have enough time to do that right now.
All right, thank you. And I think we are out of time, unfortunately. I want to encourage everyone to join us next month as Dr. Paresh Vasani presents a case using VitalQuest on July 14th. And thank you so much again, Dr. Rajan Sankaran, for this wonderful presentation. Goodbye, everyone, and have a great weekend. Thank you.